Welcome to So Fresh, So Fat, the podcast. My name is Vic Pondio. Sitting with me, as always, is Pete, the barbershop owner.
Hey.
And Sohrab.
Hi.
Oh, there you go.
Shut the fuck up.
We disparaged some small businesses last episode.
Yeah, last week you heard us talk shit about business. But let's talk. Why don't we highlight? Let's give some props to some business because we went really negative. Let's go positive now.
Here I got a question about a business. This is a question that I have.
Well, it's none of your business.
It's it's my business. No. What is, and I'm not, so this is going to come off sounding like
Racist.
not racist, but of course, no, listen, it's going to come off sounding, why are you asking us? But I thought of it while driving by it, and I was like, oh, this is a question I could just ask.
It's gonna be something about vape shops or hookah
India
lounges.
is
It is
not,
hookah lounges.
Oh my god.
Hookah lounges. Are they
India, for the
still a
last
thing?
time, Pete, India is not in the Middle East.
Yeah,
okay?
this is more us than
yeah.
Vic. Vic doesn't really. That's not his people.
This is exactly what I said. I knew how this topic
They
was
don't
going
really
to come up.
They don't really have hookah bars. They
So
charm cobras.
The real reason why I asked this is because hookah bars weren't a thing when I was younger, and I know they for younger people, and you're younger than me. That's why I'm asking.
They were very popular when I was in college for some reason.
I don't hear anyone talk about it anymore. I think because we have like vape and stuff. People don't really.
I think it's big in certain cities. It's really popular.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hookah shops fucking in the city.
I did a real rough show at one work.
God,
That's what
they're
I'm
the
saying.
worst shows.
Oh,
They're
that
the
was-
worst shows.
That's
Great
what I was
story
going
to
to
tell
ask.
about.
I've
Those
never done a good show at a hookah lounge.
are those places where people do shows? Because I was like, that sounds like a good
No.
place
That's
to do a
that's
show.
another business that aggressively is not allowed to sell food. But good luck telling Middle Eastern people not to make some extra money.
Yes.
Because they will. Like, I brought this sandwich from home. We'll give it to you for
Yeah. We did one, and I'm not going to say who the comedian was. A female comedian, good friend of mine. We did the show, and while she was on stage, there was a table behind her of like older Middle Eastern men who felt like you could kind of feel they were like the OGs of the place. They were older elders, and kind of she was starting to do some crowd work.
They were imams.
Yeah, they were Saudi sheiks or whatever the fuck it is, and she
Saudi Shake Shack.
Shouty Shake Shack.
man, they have no food there that you can eat at their Saudi Shake
Saudi Shake Shack. All we have is prayer.
Open 5 times a day. No, but she was doing crowd work with them, and they thought she was like making fun of them. So then they started freaking. One guy got up and he was like
So
threatening
is it
her.
predominantly?
They executed her in
Yeah.
halftime of a soccer
Well,
game.
they're not used to women just talking, so she.
No, so the question is I've
is
never been
so
in one.
offensive.
Is it something that like a certain type of person goes to those, or is it
Yes,
just
young Middle Eastern, young Muslim men who can't drink.
Yeah.
That's where you socialize.
That's where you saw. That's like
They're
the
really
shop.
big in the Metro Detroit area because of Dearborn. They're really big in Atlanta.
We have them a lot by me
Yeah.
in Morton Grove.
Morton Grove's a big Middle Eastern population.
Right.
The areas where you see a big surge of them is areas that has both, for some reason, I mean, not for some reason, a combination of, I think, like a black community and a Middle Eastern community. Though, because both of those cultures like hookah, so that's like in Detroit, they're
No, but
everywhere.
so what though? So just I'm trying
West
to understand.
side, south
So
side of Chicago, I see them all.
what
See a
I'm
bunch,
trying
yeah.
to what I'm trying to get at is they're a thing for a particular type of person.
Yeah.
Who goes to hookah?
But it's also to what
they're
he said.
basically bars that aren't bars.
They're not. They don't.
Correct.
Some of them have alcohol, but most of them don't.
It's not really. Yeah,
Yeah.
the bigger ones.
Is it weird if
yeah.
me and my wife went to
Not
one?
at all.
no.
Not
Okay.
at all. You'd have a good time.
Okay.
Have you smoked a hookah?
Yeah, I had one fucking 25 years ago.
Well, was it? Here's the thing: who set it up? Because if you get a hookah set up by a dude who owns a hookah shop, it's going to be a completely different experience.
Oh, I'm sure it will
because
be.
he's doing it in such an intricate, detailed way. Like
Sure.
I've also smoked one that like Chet has set up, and I'm
Right.
like, fucking Chet doesn't know what he's doing.
It feels pretty complicated. I mean, it looks
is.
a little more.
Especially
involved.
the way they do it, because the way they do it at a hookah
Okay.
shop, they'll pour in fruits.
I don't even know what's the purpose of it though.
It's a pleasure. It's a really pleasurable smoke. Like if you do like smoking, I like smoking. It's up there. It's like kind of like cigar smoke is very thick. It's very flavorful,
Sure.
but it's a very specific flavor. It's
Sure.
very bitter,
Right.
very smoky.
Right.
Hookah has like they were the ones that had like the vape flavors before vapes.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I mean
So
that's
it was
like
a
you think-
pre-vape thing. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
a
that
thick,
makes sense then.
It's a thick, heavy smoke that tastes like fruit.
Yeah.
It's like very.
I've done, like I said, I had a hookah bar. Maybe
They're really
now you're
bad for
making
you.
me
It's terrible for
it's
you.
really bad for you.
Oh, really?
That's the problem. Is because
It's
not,
it's like 100 cigarettes.
Yeah,
is
it's
one.
because you'll feel like shit afterwards. Like especially the people who overdo it. It's like smoking like a couple packs. It's very very.
Okay.
Also, like because the thing is in American culture, I think they think you're inhaling it all the time. But if you go to like Turkey, I've been to Turkey. If you go to Turkey or like in the Middle East where there's just hookah shops, those old dudes are like puffing on it, but they're not inhaling it. They're treating it like cigar smoke. But even then, that stuff is rolling around in your mouth.
You're
It's
still
not
getting
good.
it.
It's not good for you.
Yeah. Okay.
They're great. I mean, you and your wife will have a good time.
No, I'm not doing it. I just
You should. No, if you thought about it, you should.
No, I didn't think about it. All I thought about was, are these a
Who's
thing?
it
still?
for? Yeah.
And who
No,
are these
yeah.
geared towards? Is
Well,
it-
here, let me finish the story. So she.
sorry.
yeah, there's
I'm
more.
sorry. Go
They
ahead.
get up. The guy gets up and he starts talking shit to her, and he goes. He literally says to the comedian on stage. It gets real. He goes, He's like, stop talking about me. He's like, I'll kill you. This is during the show.
Well,
So she handles it so well. She kind of like pauses for a second because he just said, I'll kill, and not in like a joking way. He's like, I'll kill you. And so then me and there's a club owner there too. And we both were like, we might have to fight. Like, this is getting crazy now. So we both get up. She finishes her set. And then she immediately leaves because she's like, I feel uncomfortable. I feel unsafe. And she leaves. And then me and the club owner go confront this guy. And I'm like, hey, what the hell, dude? Like, you can't just say you're going to kill people. And he goes, come. He's like, stop doing it here. Come in the back. He goes in the back. We go in the kitchen. Okay. And now we're in the kitchen. I swear to God, there's just knives all around this room. Just 50 knives. And then he brings in like 8 other Middle Eastern dudes come in. I'm like, this is where they behead people. I got racist immediately. I was like, I've seen too many movies. This is when Bin Laden was hot. Like, there was still a lot of stuff going on. So we were still, I was like,
Bin Laden fever was sweet to the nation.
yeah, it was like
Laden
Ebola and Bin Laden. Remember those times?
Yeah.
The simpler time, you know?
Yeah.
And so we were both like, we're about to square up, and then finally a younger guy came in, and it was just a language thing. So he was able to kind of calm everything down, but it was wild, dude. It was like, but yeah, don't do shows at places like that.
So wait, he took you guys to the.
so it wouldn't be a place I
showed
should
you the
DJ.
knives.
He wanted to talk about it, but it felt like he was trying to be like, look, if you want to fucking do some shit, we're going to do it back here. Like, it felt like that. But
What was he mad about? He just didn't like being talked to.
He just didn't like being talked to. He thought, the guy explained it, the younger guy was like, he thought she was disrespecting him. So the old guy felt a certain way. But I'm like, you can't say you're going to kill somebody. That's a different.
Even so, you're disrespecting. You know, this is a comedy
Yeah, it's a
show.
comedy show.
No,
But
we should not be doing comedy shows.
that's the thing,
in
though.
And
Blue
that's
Hills.
exactly obviously
not.
that's
Older
not a place.
Muslim men and comedy.
Well,
comedy
your
and
comedy's
it's
only
already-
gearing towards that
This
audience.
is why if
then.
you're gonna do a comedy show, you should make sure people in the room know.
No, it's a so
that
that's the
it's a
thing.
comedy. That's my least. That's the
These
worst.
guys
Oh,
were
my
just
God.
there on their Saturday night.
Yeah.
They come there every week. So they're like, what the fuck
I'm
is
not
this?
trying. That it is still their fault.
It is their fault.
It's very
but
much their
to your
fault.
point,
Yeah.
surprise comedy is the worst comedy.
Surprise comedy is terrible. It's very much their fault. I'm not trying to excuse.
There was
them.
4 guys on laptops. I'm like, man, cool. We're mining Bitcoin while the show's going on. Calvin Evans went up after me and he goes, man, it feels like these guys are playing like a bank heist. They're like go, go, go. And he's like, they did not pay attention the entire show. We're just making fun of him the whole time.
Did
But
Calvin do well?
he did well.
Yeah,
Of course he
He's
did
very
well.
funny.
I want to shout out to my friend's pizza place, Dante's. You guys
Oh,
been to
Dante's, yeah.
Dante.
They do a show there, don't they? Dante's?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was going to bring up. I was going to ask you if you guys ever did the show at Dante's.
I haven't done it yet. Have you done it?
I tend to say no to shows at restaurants. No, I'm
Really?
just kidding.
I don't,
Feels like that's exclusively what you say yes to.
yeah, I would say like exactly. I'd be like,
That's in your writer.
Yeah, it needs to be at a restaurant.
I need a gift card to the local coffee shop, and I need.
I,
No,
need
I'll
a-
check it out. I've heard that it's a very good show. I've heard nothing but
I
good
don't
things.
know anything about the show. I just saw that they were doing one, and
The pizza's supposed to be.
oh,
great.
pizzas. You've never
What
been
kind
there?
of pizza?
It's New York style.
Ooh.
Yeah, we should
Big fucking slices.
Friend Dante?
They're from Dante. No, my friend Tim owns it.
Oh, your friend Tim. But why do you pick Dante as the name?
I think it's called Dante's Inferno.
go. Oh, from the.
Is he Catholic?
Yeah, from the actual. Is it from the actual thing?
That's what his theme
Okay.
is.
Is he Catholic?
I don't know.
Is it kind of like goth setup? 'Cause it's
Rockabilly.
Dante. Yeah, it's a rare.
No, it's like horror movie.
By the way,
It's-
you guys have fucked me
it's-
up every time I see anyone who kind of remotely looks like Pete. I'm
Rockabilly.
Like, yeah, I'm like, you into
He's like,
rockabilly? Yeah, I just start.
pop, beat up, pop, pop.
But that's all I know about it, so I don't have anything to go off after that.
You get a free pair of Oakleys for every piece.
We got to get the picture for this episode of the guy with Oakley's with this backwards. It's such a look. It's such a.
We'll go. Yeah, let's shout out a good business. Does he?
So Dante's.
Dante's good pizza.
Good pizza.
I want to
Thursdays, I believe, is a show every week. So
now, since between this last
Yeah, it's on
episode and this
Thursdays.
episode, Dollop's lawyers have contacted us.
not contacted you, contacted me personally.
honestly, I'm more scared about White Claw because
Yeah, White Claw came after us.
You guys talk some shit on
Yeah.
White Claw.
Yeah.
Dollop's lawyers were very high.
Yeah.
They don't pose much of a threat.
Luckily, they threw the paperwork to the other and they lost all of it. In the,
Oh no, the
yeah.
paperwork! Oh man, no, we can't have a lawsuit, man. Oh man, now there's no lawsuit. Fucking morons.
Oh, you know, here's another business that.
We can't just.
No, I will have another one.
That's all the podcast becomes. It's just us complaining about
Yeah.
local businesses.
This is not a local. What's your thoughts on Buffalo Wild Wings?
I've never. I think I went in college, but I've always put it in the category of like silly suburban
Silly
restaurants.
fast. It's almost like fast food. I would call it like.
Yeah,
still.
but you have to sit down. And
It's like Applebee's. That
Yeah.
category of you sit down, but really,
Yeah.
it should be a. This should be a carry out window.
Yeah.
This
It
type
should
of food.
be
This is
Well,
not.
it's a place-
This could have been an email.
This restaurant could have been an email.
I think they're trying to be a chain sports bar is what
Yeah.
it is. That's
Yeah.
their,
It's a bummer.
their
So-
shtick.
I went there years ago.
We did a show there.
No.
Vic Pandia live coming to you from
Wild
Buffalo Wild
Wings.
Wings.
It was me and that comedian Hot Sauce. You remember him?
I don't remember hot sauce.
But we were just hanging out, and we all get drinks, and one of my friends wasn't drinking. Can I have some water? And she goes, oh, I swear to God, she goes, we don't have any water.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
And I swear
Shut
to God,
up,
I
Vic.
swear to God.
Shut up, Vic.
She goes,
The pipes blew.
she goes, I can bring you, and not being funny, she goes, I can bring you a cup of ice
And wait for
and
it to
wait
melt.
for it to melt.
You're fucking with me. What? Where was this business?
This was
It's
in
a
the
Buffalo Wild Wings.
This was in, I believe it was in like Joliet or Plainfield. It's one of these like suburbs.
You don't have water and you're still open.
That's
You're
what I
making-
thought. I'm like,
how are you
How
open?
are you open?
I like the side of you, Vic. This is we agree on this because I get
Yeah.
really mad at businesses really fast.
I mean, and it was great because we're all drinking alcohol. We're
Yeah.
like, see, this is why you shouldn't be a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
and then get a real drink. But I felt so bad. He couldn't get a drink, and she brought him a cup of ice.
Oh my
You had to wait. You had to
God!
wait
You had to
30
wait.
minutes.
You
He's
had to
gonna
chew
suck on
ice
this cup
chip.
of ice.
Yeah.
It reminds me of your because you have that Panda.
Yeah.
I think about that Panda Express
know.
show. and go, How are you? Why are you
Why are
open?
you
Is that
open?
your entire business model?
It's just wild that first of all, I don't think legally you can operate and not have water.
I try to go to a Walgreens. Oh my God! I try to go to a
I don't
Walgreens.
think you
I'll
can.
call this one out hardcore. The Walgreens by Margie's Candy by Lincoln Lodge.
Oh, that whole street
That
is
fucking
dicey.
that whole street is
Dicey.
dicey, man.
I got towed, but fuck that Walgreens. I got towed by that Walgreens.
Oh God!
Yeah.
I go to the. It's 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's
I
rough.
go. Doors are. They haven't even locked the doors. They just put something in front of the door so you can't
Block
get
it,
it.
yeah.
They block the doors, and there's like employees in there doing stuff, but they won't let anyone
No,
in.
the lights are on. People
Lights
are
on.
working.
It's a fucking
Yeah.
Walgreens. It's
Yeah.
open, but they're like, yeah, we're not.
I don't
letting-
like that where they start to they make you feel like, they're like, hey, get the fuck out. Like they close it or they start like
Just
doing
wanted
stuff.
to use the ATM.
Yeah.
I just wanted to use the ATM to go to Red Hot Ranch. It was so hard, and it was. And here's the thing about businesses that don't want to take your money. Sometimes they're amazing because I went to Red Hot Ranch. Their ATM's down. I was like, okay, so you guys are cash only. There's every ATM around you doesn't work. I went to Margie's Candy, ATM doesn't work. Went to Walgreens, barricaded.
They're
barricaded.
waiting for the zombies to approach.
Goddamn barricaded.
We need to save ourselves.
And I was so frustrated. I walked back to the Lincoln Lodge and I got a comedian. You know how hard it is to find
Okay, we with $4?
yeah, find a comedian with cash on them. Fucking find a comedian who's liquid right
Yeah.
now. It's impossible.
No.
I was like, I have money. I have money. I just need cash. I had to convince a comedian. I was like, you give me 20
And that's-
I will
oh.
give you $22. You're making $2. Give me the fucking 20.
Yep.
And I finally got someone to give me a 20. And I went to Red Hot Ranch. I bought a burger. I took one bite of the burger and then I bought a second. It was the best burger I've ever had.
That's
in my
good.
life.
Real good.
It's legitimately the best burger I've ever had in my life.
I've never
You
had
gotta
it.
go. It's Red Hot Ranch.
I know where it is. I've never been there.
Is that it's only one location, right?
Yeah.
Just that one.
And it's like, okay, I get why it's hard to give you money because you do something correctly.
Yeah.
It's $10 for a burger and fries, exact change.
Right.
Get in, get out. But I'm like, okay, I get it now. I get why it's hard. And then the guy said this. I was like, man, this is really good. And he was like, I'll see you in 2 days. And I was like, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, you probably will.
Yeah. Wow. I love that confidence. He's like, I'll see you back here. I got you hooked.
Yeah.
I got you hooked.
I
on this.
sprinkled
Fat.
crack in there for you.
You fat bitch. I'll see you back in
I
2
give
days.
you that extra dollop of ketchup because I can see you like
we can't
ketchup.
legally
fatty.
we can't even say dollop anymore on the podcast.
Fucking damn.
Yeah.
Yes, we can. They're fucking zoinks. They're lawyers. Zoinks, Scoop.
Zoinks.
Fucking potheads.
Okay, let's shift away from. Let's talk about.
But I got one more coffee shop.
okay,
Because
okay.
then what you do is you go. You're like, oh, I don't want a coffee shop full of liberal stoners. Then you go to one of those conservative coffee shops. Those are even worse.
Oh, what's
like something that serves like Black Rifle coffee.
Oh yeah.
Is there coffee shops that
Yeah,
do
dude,
that?
you go to California, go to San Diego, go to I did a show in San Diego.
See, I used to buy a Black Rifle,
Let's go, Brandon Coffee.
Yeah,
and
that's
and that
crazy.
you know, and it sucks because the one thing I did like about their thing was that they donated money to the Wounded Warrior.
That's a terrible organization.
Why is that a terrible?
You didn't know that? That guy got in a lot of trouble. It's
Do you
a
know how
terrible.
many-
I have a lot of friends who are veterans. It's a known thing. It's
Yeah.
Anyway, once they started getting on I saw they had a sticker that was like Black Coffee Matters, and it
Yeah,
was
that's
shit like
they
that.
crossed the line
And
when
I was
they did
like
that.
looking at that stuff. I
They
was like,
crossed the line when they did
"Man,
that. That was
thanks for
gross.
ruining it for me.
Yeah, that
Like-
was really stupid. I liked their marketing, and I had a friend who got hired by them to pitch sketch ideas and commercial ideas, and I wrote a couple of those, and I got paid for them.
Oh, nice.
And when I was doing that, I didn't know they did that. I did some research on their marketing, and I was like, oh, they seem pretty cute. It's like all fairly innocent. And then I saw the Black Coffee Matters, and I was like, oh, this is gross.
Yeah.
No, I know, and that kind of ruined it for me.
It
and I
ruined it
was
for me
like-
too,
yeah,
because
and I was
up
like-
until that point, I was like, oh, I kind of like you. And then I saw that, and I was like, oh, you guys suck.
But that was the reasoning why I was like, I'm like, it's veteran owned. I like to support. Like I said, those veterans get shit.
They do.
And,
But
and
I'll
they
give you
do-
better organizations. Wounded Warrior is shit. That guy got in a ton of. He stole.
Well, I don't drink it anymore anyway.
Yeah.
But I just like that concept of people donating money to
Yeah.
for that reason.
Any portion of the proceeds. Yeah,
yes.
that's good.
So, but just that was my Black
go to
Rifle
Dollar.
story.
You can go to Dollar. You can spend the money there, and they'll donate.
But
it
I didn't
to-
know they had their own coffee shop. But I guess that would make sense in California or wherever they're
We
from.
donate the money to lesbian seagulls.
Yeah.
Trying to find their partners.
Yeah. It's a big cause. That's a big cause.
I would support that cause.
Lesbian aren't all seagulls are lesbian.
I think you're being kind of
That's a
judgy
gay
there.
bird.
Yeah.
I think
Seabirds. A seabird. Yeah, they're gay.
I think you're being a little judgy there.
What do you fucking over water all the time?
Go to Dollop made me a Republican. It did. It made me conservative. I'm at a Trump rally. Like, why are you here? I'm like, I'm overhand a bagel.
Yeah.
Well, don't get confused with the conservative and the Trump people. There is a little bit of
Oh
a difference
Jesus!
there.
Oh no, Pete.
There is a difference there.
Oh, my
Trump,
God,
you cannot
Pete.
say that Trump is going to not have his own people.
This is the most Mexican trait about Pete. He likes Trump.
Yeah, this is the most.
no,
this
I
is
do
the most.
not like Trump. The point is that I said I'm talking about the conservative people because I know a lot of conservative people who
Well, you
hate
vote
Trump.
for Chris Christie?
I don't even know who Chris Christie is.
I like him because he's fat.
I was gonna say he looks like
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a very few fat politicians. We got the governor of Illinois. Love him.
he's a great dude.
Big
He
fan
looks
of the
like
guy.
a fun guy.
He looks like a fun guy. He looks like he can put down a meal.
I feel like I could poke him in the belly. He'd like giggle a little bit. Yeah, he looks like
Yeah.
that.
He would
looks
Pillsbury
fun.
Doughboy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
really-
seems like he's self-deprecating.
He has
a
nice
little
hair
bit.
too.
Great hair.
Yeah, great.
I don't know who these people are.
You know what he
I
did?
don't want to talk about it because I don't know what
You
the
know
fuck
what?
we're
You know what
talking
JB?
about.
You know what JB Pritzker did? He's a fucking genius. He had this house and he didn't want to pay taxes on it, so he took out the toilets because then it's not technically a house anymore.
Sounds about his.
Someone told me that
Illinois you're gonna get.
my Republican friend in Michigan tried to tell me that to make me not like him.
Okay,
and I was
this
like,
is-
that fucking.
I'm voting
that
for
makes
him
me
for life.
love him.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That's fucking brilliant.
That's funny.
Taking the toilets out.
Yeah.
Got shit in the woods.
That's wild.
Isn't that wild?
That's crazy. So okay, you were saying sorry. You didn't
You
want.
were about how Mexicans need to go
Yeah.
and how you're pro-Trump.
No. You're so stupid. You're so dumb. I'm not that stoned.
I thought he was gonna be like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm not that stoned.
That's the clip. That's the clip. But I wanted to get into this because Sohrab's been doing these college shows all over the place. Tell me about. So you told me a long time ago, college shows are tough because you don't know you can't really do all your material.
I did one. The last one I did because they look at you and they're like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, they also literally you can't. They're like, "Don't say this." Like it's got to be clean.
I've never experienced that.
Yeah.
I've never. No one's ever told me to not do stuff based on content wise, but I'll get a couple minutes in,
and you just know it's not working.
And you know it's.
So
not
what
working.
did you? So how much time do you have to do, and what did you do? And
So
how
I did do an
it
hour at Stout University, in I did 2 colleges last week. I did Marquette in Milwaukee, and I did Stout in Menominee, Wisconsin.
Okay.
And I get to Stout. This is where the coffee. I get to Stout, and the kids are great, and but I'm like 10 minutes into my material, and they're just looking at me. Like, what the fuck?
So you haven't done any crowd work or anything yet?
No,
Okay.
I did. I made fun of a kid in his hat.
So how did you
hated it?
How did you
I
start
made
the
fun of it.
show?
They hated
Like,
it.
did you just do with your normal material?
You have to experiment with colleges. It's not because you never know. Like, you start with crowd work, they don't like crowd work. You start with campus stuff, they don't want that. It's very tricky.
You have to literally go down your list of bag of
Is
tricks.
that why
But you
you
don't lose them. Colleges are interesting because you never really lose the kids. Like at a club, I can lose an audience like that, and I have to work to get them back. At colleges, you don't really lose. I don't know if you've experienced this.
Yeah.
They're not. They're nice. They're
nice kids.
They want to be there.
Well, yeah,
They,
and that's what I was going to ask. I was to be like,
they're either too responsive or not responsive
Correct.
at all. Those are really the two.
Yes.
But isn't that a good gig to get as a comedian?
Oh, it pays well.
Pays.
That's what I'm saying.
So you're also happy to be there.
Right.
So there's this thing where it's like when you're getting paid well, you're like, okay, I'm an employee. I need to provide them with an hour of entertainment.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
it.
Right.
The material doesn't matter if
You're just there to kill an hour of time,
honestly,
but make it good.
Yeah, you're there to provide them. Like they all have class the next day. They're like they have nothing to do. No one comes to this who's 21 and over because they're at bars. Or if it is the kind of college campus where there are no bars or there's not a big drinking school.
Sure.
21-year-olds are there.
Okay.
But what Stout, it was all kids. It was all freshmen and sophomores.
Okay.
And they just don't.
So they're like 17.
No, they're 18. They're 18.
So 17,
18,
18.
19.
But think about
18,
like
19.
from what we're talking about. We're like what do we talk about that? It's real, like we have to make stuff
Nothing,
that's good for 18-year-olds. What I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing to talk. So I get in my material and they're just looking. I'm treating it like a comedy club.
It's funny how this is how you guys look at your job as like, I'm trying to relate. And then you make fun of me who's looking at you trying to figure out how am I going to relate to you guys
Wait, what?
on my day-to-day living.
Well, yeah, but this is for like an hour of a night. This is your whole life.
Yeah.
Right. This is my whole exactly.
Yeah.
This is my whole life.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
I have to try
You gotta
to
stop smoking weed before you do these, man. It's just been a downward. It shows this audience how the sausage is made. You know, we're not taking a week. We're wearing the same clothes we were wearing 2 episodes ago. Obviously, we're doing it back to back. It's been just a slow decline, of his mental acuity.
This is like
the
Biden
first
right
episode.
now.
Yeah, it is like Biden week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4.
I'm saying talking about like you're making fun of me about saying things. Like you always are like, oh, here's Pete taking a long time on a story or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm trying to relate to you guys, but trying to execute it. And you're making fun of me and you're making fun of them because they can't relate to you.
No, well, we're making fun of you because it just makes for a good podcast.
I understand.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
But
why.
for this thing, what he's talking about, you have to. So what do? You get 10 minutes of material.
So I start. No, I'll tell you about this one. Was really weird because I noticed that they don't want material.
Did crowd work initially didn't work.
Crowd work wasn't really doing great because they didn't want to talk.
Yeah, they're
So I'm
quiet.
like, oh, this is gonna be tough. They don't want to chat with me. They don't like
Are
material.
they on their phones?
A couple of them are doing homework, but that's normal. I don't take that personally. Usually they stop when it gets interesting. They just have to find a way to make it interesting.
Right.
So then I ask a question that I know is a good thing to help you if you're trying to improv at a school because nothing is working. You go, well, what makes this campus so special? Like, what do you guys have here?
What's your thing?
And I asked this before the show, and the person was like, well, we got a guy on campus who made himself an Iron Man suit. He took metal.
Wow, what a
and
school.
And he constructed an Iron Man suit. And I was like, okay. I was like, why? And they were like, well, he did it to impress a girl. And I was like, someone gave him bad advice.
You know what women like? A suit of armor.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I was like, well, is it a white kid? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, well, of course it is. Who's gonna?
Who's got an iron forge just readily available?
Also, who the authorities are letting one of us get away with just making a bulletproof suit?
I gotta go smelt this.
Oh, he actually made it of iron?
Yeah.
Oh.
So then I was like,
Where, in his
so
fucking room?
They told me
Yeah.
a little bit about that, so I brought that up.
Did it do well?
Oh, it killed. They were
Yeah.
like, yeah, we got an Iron
We got
Man.
Iron Man. Yeah.
Were they excited that you knew about
Yeah,
it?
they loved it.
Or
They
were
loved
they
it.
or they make you laughing at it because it was so stupid that you even brought it up?
They loved it. They loved that I knew about it. They loved that. They think we're like somebody.
Yeah. That is one cool thing about these. They think
That's
you're
why
bigger.
you don't lose them.
Yeah.
Is because
Well,
they
yeah.
think we're somebody.
They're
Right.
kids.
They're
They
kids.
see an older person.
And
that's
also big
yeah.
city. They think anybody from a big city is like, they're like,
Yeah.
oh. So the fact that I know about their campus is exciting to them. Where it's
Sure.
there's
Huge.
like, oh, he knows little intricacies of our silly little campus.
Sure.
So then I'm talking about Iron Man. I'm talking about the whole girl. He did this to impress a girl. I was like, that's fucking stupid. You know, why would you do that? No, please don't do that. Like, write her a letter.
And
like,
he's right
don't.
there in the back row.
Well,
He's in
and
the
then
third
Iron
row.
Man gets up.
And then one of the kids, and then
He's like, I'm gonna shoot you with my blaster.
That would be terrifying. I'd be so scared.
yeah, it'd be terrifying.
Yeah, all of a sudden you see some red eyes start up.
You
right
just see
over
some
it.
lights in the back of the auditorium.
So then one of them goes. So then one of them, and then at this point they're talking to me. At this point, they're having a conversation with me. One of the kids goes, "Oh, well, I have a picture of Iron Man with Jesus," and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking?"
Yeah. What did that whole sentence?
And then they take out their kid takes out his phone, shows me a picture. He's like, "Well, we have a kid who dresses up like Jesus on campus."
And that's
I was
not.
like,
That's not
and
for
I was
anybody.
like, if you show me a picture of some fucking white kid,
Yep.
I'm gonna be furious. And of course, they showed me, and I was
Yep.
like, he is not from Galilee. He is from
I'm from Galilee.
Green Bay, Wisconsin. They were like, yeah, he walks around. So they kept. Then now I'm making fun of that. I was like, oh, can you imagine just walking to class? You see Iron Man and Jesus. Yeah. You're like, I gotta find a new school. Dude.
Yeah.
What is this?
What class is this?
Yeah, right. So I'm.
So you're winning these kids over with this whole routine.
Yeah, I'm making fun of this, and then one of the kids goes, yeah, Jesus hands out little tiny Bibles, and I was like, what are you talking about? And then they take
So
out.
this wasn't an ironic.
No.
He's for the
No,
Lord.
he's for the Lord.
Yeah.
He starts taking out these little Bibles, and then one of the kids was like, yeah, and then there was this other kid who started posting pictures on the campus Instagram, taking bites out of the Bibles and eating them. And I was like, what the fuck?
Is this a school for smart people?
This
Not,
is, I
this
have
feels
no
like
idea.
a
So then,
special
so
school.
then they're.
Were the kids laughing at
Oh,
this?
they loved this. They were.
now
I've
you're
never
getting
had
into
a
it.
show. I've never had a show this go. Yeah, because I was playing a guy who was
Totally.
horrified by this.
Yeah. So
I
they're
was
like
playing a guy.
laughing.
That's what they wanted. They wanted me to be like, you guys are the craziest kids
Yeah.
of it. They loved that.
Yeah,
They loved.
that's
They
what I'm
probably
saying.
took pride in the fact that their school's so eccentric. So then they were like, yeah, this kid's been eating the Bibles, and I was like, what a fucking weird shit to take. You know,
That's also another thing you could not get away with.
Yeah, right. Yeah, eating the Bible.
Eating a Bible and posting pictures
and
of
then
it.
they keep going, and then I'm like, man, you guys have a weird school. And then one of the kids goes, yeah, you don't even know about Bread Guy. And I was like, what the fuck is Bread Guy? And then they're like, well, we got a kid who stands outside the dorm rooms and he sells bread that he bakes.
It's funny that these kids make fun of their friends, and,
Yeah.
and it's known that
Yeah.
everybody knows them. Like, that's
Yeah.
so funny.
That
then
actually
he-
sounds kind of lit.
The bread
Yeah,
kid. So now I'm making fun of the bread kid. And then one of the kids is like, well, I'm messaging him right now. He's about to come in.
But
And I
you
was
got that bread.
Guy's on his way. Bread guy shows up. I'm picturing, and I said this, I was like, I'm picturing a dork. I'm picturing the kind of kid who's
Yeah.
letting yeast sit in his dorm room.
That's not
instead
a
of getting
yeah.
late. The coolest kid shows up. He's got a cool haircut. He's got a gold chain. He's got Crocs on, but he's wearing them
The right way.
Ironically, where
Funny.
he looks good.
Yeah.
He's like,
Not
he's
for, like, comfort.
he looks like he's from Brooklyn. He does not look like he comes in. He's got AirPods in.
Oh my god!
I'm like, bro, you got AirPods in. What are you doing? He was like, oh, I'm FaceTiming a girl right now. And I was like, bro, you're the bread guy? And he's like, yeah, he comes, he daps me up. He shakes. He's like, yeah, man, let's work together. Man.
Let's collab.
Let's collab. I was like, you're the most normal kid at this school? And he was like, yeah. He was like, I make a lemon poppy seed bread. And you're gonna love it. And I was like, let me get one. He was like, I'm out. And I was like, fuck. He's like, I'll mail you one.
Now it sounds like dollop. He's
Yeah,
like,
I looked at your fucking menu and it didn't have what you have. And get your shit together.
Yeah, it was very funny. So that saved the show. All these things back to back.
So you just had a conversation for 45 minutes.
for an hour and 10 minutes. Yeah,
Great, it's
Yeah,
awesome. You didn't do any jokes after that.
I did joke. I was doing this thing where if I found something in the conversation that could relate to a joke, I would do the joke.
That
I
makes
think you
it
do you ever
perfect.
do that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
and then
yeah.
people think you're a genius.
They think you're improv.
They think you're improv.
But you, in a way, you are.
You
You're just-
are,
you're
but
thinking of it.
you're thinking of it,
So
right.
I did a school, and it was actually really good. It was the kids were also kind of nerdy and
Yeah,
dorky.
the nerdy kids are always the best.
They're so sweet, but one kid was wearing, like in Aladdin, they have that cap, the fez cap. This kid, white guy, was in the audience
Just wearing a fez.
wearing a fez cap. So I thought,
Could he be a Shriner?
I was
maybe?
just gonna say,
Yeah,
was
could
he a
be
Shriner?
I was like, hey, that's really cool. You knew I was coming. Thanks for wearing the hat.
That's very
So I
funny.
make the joke, and then a couple people laugh, but then he doesn't laugh. So then I realize he doesn't know.
Oh.
But I'm like, so
How did you get the fez? How did you acquire the fez?
Who even knew? How do you even get that from a real, not Spirit Halloween? How do you get this? So I go, what's the story with the hat? And he goes, I just, I wear this all the time. So it's like a fashion piece.
That's my scene.
Yeah. So he literally was he's the only person I've ever seen wearing a fez hat. Not ironic.
He's kind of like Jughead, just wearing the fucking crown for no reason.
Yeah.
You're like, why are you?
You're
like,
a
that's
freshman
my
in
scene.
college. You're trying to come up with a thing.
But
and you're
these are
like,
the people
I'm
that
fez kid.
this is what you were saying with the school. There's Iron Man. Like, these are the people that we have to entertain. Like,
Yeah.
this is incredibly difficult to be like, how do I make this guy who doesn't realize this is funny laugh? And I have to be like, well, that's cool,
Colleges
man.
are both at the same time the easiest gigs and the hardest
It's
gigs.
such
to
a
do.
bizarre. But
they're bizarre.
To his point, you're getting paid this much money. You're like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out, dude. I'll do whatever.
And there is some power to be like, I entertain these kids for an hour. I felt good about
you
that.
feel there's a lot of I take a lot of pride in them too.
Yeah.
And also, like I did, dude, these kids are fucking dumb, man. I did Marquette in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And I did the dumbest thing ever. I was like, where should I go eat after this? And they're like, you got to go to this chili place. It's
called Chili's.
It's called Real Chili. They were like, it's located on campus. It's open till 4 a.m. All they sell is chili.
That's so much Marquette shit.
Yeah. I heard that. I was like, I'm there. I go to this place. I walk in. The dude who is one guy running the whole place. He sees me. He's surprised.
Yeah.
He's like a grown man is eating at this place that only college kids eat. Like kids who were at the show were at this place. And they were like, oh my God, he's here. He came. He actually listened to us. He came to the chili place. I take one bite of the chili. I'm like, this is inedible. this is, I was like, I almost wanted to be like, put your spoons down, kids.
Yeah.
You should not be eating. I took one bite and I was like, and I was so blown away by how bad it was that I ordered another thing. Because I ordered the Frito pie and I was like, this is inedible. And I was like, give me just a bowl of chili.
Just a standard,
Just
give me what you're called.
And he was like, all right. And he gave it to me and I ate it and it was just terrible.
Oh,
and then I smoked weed with him, which should have been a sign that.
Not great.
And then on the drive home, I was like, oh, my body chemistry has been altered by this chili.
That's so funny that they're all like, it just goes. They probably were a lot of people from Wisconsin who go to that school, so they're like, "This is so fire, dude. This is what we got. This is our big food."
I took a picture of it. Like one of the students.
We're foodies.
One of the students took a picture of me and them at Real Chili, and I shared it on my Instagram. And people who were from Milwaukee messaged me and were like, "What are you doing?" I got so many messages from people who were like, "No." You're like, "Are you okay?" And it was like the next day, I was like, "I'm not actually."
That's funny.
Yeah. All right. That was fun. That was a little fun take. Well, we'll talk about
God, we've disparaged so many
know,
local businesses.
colleges, students.
Independent bread makers. Just really shout out everybody.
But we'll be back next week.
No,
Thank you for tuning in.
don't lie to people. It's the same week.
We'll be back in
Next week.
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
We'll be back in 4 minutes for the
We
next
should
episode.
bring different change of shirts or
I
something.
know.
Later. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.